He was told the end was near, but faith erased the grip of fear. A vision came, a light so clear, his mission now for all to hear. Living proof of a greater plan, a voice to rise, a truth to stand. Through the fire.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Phee Smee show with Manly Mark. As always, it's me, your host, with my co-host, even though the namesake over here riding shotgun. I guess I still don't know how that power dynamic works, but you know,
it is a power dynamic.
it is a power dynamic.
And, I'll take second chair.
Well, at least I didn't come in here being hateful this morning.
And that's abnormal for you because normally you are a hateful individual in the morning time.
I think it's just Phee is such a good. He plays ball, so he's such a good sportsman. He's got good sportsmanship, so he just takes it.
I do. That's because I love you. You're a good man, and you talk a lot of trash early on in the morning, and it levels off during the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But you have to know that, you're busting at the seams with knowledge that you want to share with everybody, and then you get the opportunity, and when you come in here, you're full of juice. I like that.
I'm always full of something.
You are. There ain't no question about that.
Phee.
Mostly it's juice.
Well, yeah, Phee, if you could, I noticed in our last episode, my voice, and I feel subdued today. I'm talking a little quieter, but can you pull that mic up just a little more to your mouth? Because I hate the disparity between how I'm whoop-ah, whoop-a-doo-ba-doo, and then it's kind of like Fee's all, baby. You know what I'm saying?
I can,
Blue Christmas without you.
I don't know if Mark can sing, but I can tell you.
I'll be so blue.
He can play the song and the guitar.
Just thinking about you.
I don't think anybody's tuning in to hear me sing, but they hear you sing, brother.
Well, I'm not even singing
good. You
good,
can sing
though.
all day long.
I wish.
Well, I guess from a serious note, we got more folks and more problems in the world in Australia with 11 folks dead.
Of course, they got to be persecuting those Jewish folks.
Yeah, I know it's a roughhouse world, and you got NATO talking about some multinational forces helping Ukraine. Well, now, don't stop until you get enough, because you go to Venezuela, folks, and those Russians and Chinese are right down there amongst us.
Well, they've already been coming over the border for years and years and years. They've already got whole task forces in America just waiting, itching.
They do.
But I do wonder, though, if they'll get over here with a mission and plan in mind, and then it kind of takes a while, so they get kind of placated in the, well, it's not so bad living off the government. It's the taxpayer. It's not so bad going to McDonald's and getting these cheeseburgers. It's not so bad. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, they're still gonna act when the time comes. But I have to wonder, like a old guy I work with is dating a guy, or was dating a guy who's, she said he's Iraqi. This guy is an Afghani who came over here. And just immediately got money from our government. But it's like he came over here with the hate America, down with the great Satan in mind. Now he's just living off the taxpayers, man.
Living in America.
Well, but it's just like, why do we make it so easy? Like, is this what it was like when Rome fell? Like, just the incompetence that allowed the enemies of Rome to come in? Is that how it is in America now?
Absolutely. Because you have people in America that don't love our country, that have bad intentions for our country, and now you've got about 400,000 of these nationalists in here that control your farmland, some airstrips, some food processing plants. It's going to get ugly.
Well, get them out of here. Get them out. Get out.
If there's 20 million in there,
Out.
and they get 4 million a year out, that's 5 years. We don't have 5 years.
Well, they should just get them all out in one fell swoop. Just let them go.
Well, if you can figure out a way to do that. Go ahead and call 1-800.gov.
We can make a chart with varying degrees of. No, I'm not even going to say that. I was about to make a joke,
Yes,
but it's not a joke that will be well received.
No. No. Wouldn't be a joke to be well received whatsoever.
But it would be funny.
Do you think during all of this mess that we're finding ourselves in the time period that we're living in, that our KGB Putin is just going to take Donbass and then leave, or you think he's going to continue to ask for more and more?
Well, honestly, if it wasn't for the provocations of the West, I think he would have just taken what he needed as a buffer zone and said, okay, I'm done. But the more we poke the bear, the angrier and more hungry he will become. In that, I just wanted this. Now, I don't think that his intentions or goal are to reestablish the USSR. I don't think his end goal is to be the emperor of Russia. But
The Tsar.
the Tsar. Now, don't even get me started about the Tsar.
You love czars.
Well, it's more that they did the Russian Tsar and his family so wrong. And the Bolsheviks, they were Jewish. The communists, his first cousin was the King of England. You knew that, right?
I did, only because you had told me.
They were first cousins. If you look at a picture of them, their mothers were sisters. Okay, they look very identical. But that's not the point. But it's like they even asked their first cousins, "Hey, please help us escape." No, we can't do that because the financiers. You can't be doing that now, man. The whole murder of the Tsar Nicholas's family. Well, not only was it like a blood ritual, satanic, Luciferian, Kabbalistic blood ritual, but it's just, man, I mean, I don't know why, because I have a zero Eastern European in me, but that just really still just makes me so mad the way they did him and his family, man.
First cousins, King of England.
Yeah, the Tsar of Russia at that point, the first cousin was the King of England.
I tell you what, they're all connected somehow.
Well, yeah, intermarriage, this and that. Which I mean, like, if you look at how many European monarchies existed before World War I, a whole bunch. After World War I, not a whole lot at all.
They funneled them on down, didn't
Well, but they did. But that was in part to what we see now, like the European Union, the United Nations, all that, what's the word I'm looking for? All that power in one hand, they sought to dissolve the individualistic nature of each of these European countries. I mean, that's what it was all about. They don't want nationalism or Belgium to have their own king and to care about the Belgian people. It's all. I hate to say it.
They started that 15 years ago, and now they're paying a price.
I started 15 years ago?
It might be 20 now. But
what are you talking about?
The euro was about in the 2000s.
Oh, well, it started in the late 1800s, early 1900s.
Well, 1825, you're talking about Charlemagne and King Charles and the Holy.
Well, I just mean like the
Empire.
the dissolving of the European monarchies was to get us to the point where we are now.
Well, don't you think that after World War II they had done that?
Yeah, 100%.
And don't you think by 2030 the United Nations Economic Forum and their goals?
Yes.
You basically got 5 years before they plan on implementing everything.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I guess the point I'm trying to make is the entirety of World War I and II were in part to have a large majority of European men killed. They were brother wars, but not only that, to weaken the national pride of these countries, to weaken the national identity of these countries, to weaken the European spirit, because to be co-opted by Semitic influences to now bring us to where we are now. Mm-hmm. Well, and the whole point of World War II was to establish a national state of Israel. Like, it wasn't because Hitler was taking over the world. Whoa! It wasn't because of the Holocaust. It was, the entirety of it was to bring about the state of Israel through forceful means. They still are breaking the covenants that they made to their God. But they forced it. They forced it. Like, I mean, you even have rabbis in Israel right now who say, we shouldn't be in this land because we have not given up our idols. We've not given up our this or that. We're still breaking the covenants that we made to God, that had us expelled out of the land to begin with. I mean, I'm just saying.
I think you're correct.
I mean, like, I think I am. Like, Israel ceased to become a nation after they killed Christ. And then in 70 AD, when the temple was destroyed and they were essentially scattered all over the world, that was probably in response to them rejecting their Messiah. Okay, so now all of a sudden, they still reject God, and they've magically have been brought back together as a nation. It's all a lie. Like, what have they done for God to say, okay, I'm going to bring them back in the land? Nothing. They still reject Christ. If anything, they're more idolatrous now than they were back then. So, I mean, it
moves slow, doesn't it?
It does, but that's just the nature.
I mean, think about that.
It's the nature of things.
1948, that's basically 75 years ago.
Yeah.
And then you got your your 6-day or 7-day war in 1967.
Yeah, in which the USS Liberty happened, and our greatest ally in the Middle East bombed a destroyer or an American ship on purpose to try to pin it on Egypt to get us involved. And you still have survivors of that who are saying, we called them on the radio and said, hey, this is an American ship. They didn't care. They didn't care.
Yeah.
I mean, look, man, even if it's part of the end times plan, I get that. I'm not hating on that, but they're not our friends.
Well, they certainly are powerful, and they're certainly strong. They certainly influence a whole lot of business, I can tell you that.
Well, business, but only even culture. They even influence culture.
No question about that. And you got President Trump now saying that we will retaliate for the servicemen that got killed in Syria. So, what are you even talking about?
What
is that retaliation going to be?
What? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, we had some servicemen killed.
When? Recently?
In Syria. Yeah, this weekend.
Okay, like how did they get killed? Shot or?
Yeah. They
who did it?
Well, they ISIS.
Oh, ISIS
is what is a report. I don't know. I wasn't on the.
But what I find ironic is, Assad, Bashar al-Assad, Assad, he's evil, bad, yeah, we got to get rid of him. Okay, we got rid of him. Oh, man, now these even worse people have taken his place.
Tends to happen a lot to us.
Yeah, but at this point, it's so obvious that it's like, that's the point. We go in and destabilize the area, the region, and then when someone else who's worse takes their spot, well, now we got to go in full steam. Iraq, Lebanon, not Lebanon, Afghanistan. Where was that Gaddafi guy from?
Libya.
It's like, you can't, but I guess the part that really bothers me is it's God's will that we go into Vietnam. It's God's will that we overthrow Saddam Hussein. It's like, but then in retrospect, you look back and say, wow, things would have been a whole lot better if Saddam Hussein hadn't been disposed of. In retrospect, we'll say, it was a whole lot. Things got a whole lot worse whenever we got rid of Bashar al-Assad. Gaddafi wasn't even that bad of a guy. The literacy rate increased dramatically under his leadership. He built hospitals all over the world, all over his country. He brought electricity to a whole lot of his country. Now it's just a cesspool of terrorists
training.
I mean, like, I love America, but it's like, I mean, I do.
Well, we got a whole lot of problems at home. We've got 20 million homeless here that we would like. I would like to see them taken care of before we start spending.
Well, Ronald Reagan got
billions.
Ronald Reagan got rid of the mental institutions, and look now what's happened.
Well, about 60% of those folks have some mental illness based on nutrition and their past trauma.
Well, but I'm not hating on those folks, but
No.
it's like maybe there were these institutions for these people for a reason.
Absolutely.
Like I wasn't even around when Ronald Reagan was around. But like, what was his justification for that? What was the idea? Do you know?
No, other than back then there was a real stigma on behavioral science, mental illness. Now it's everybody has a therapist. Your therapist has a therapist. It's just a shift of culture, and then it's the labeling of everything and everybody.
Well, yeah, everybody is a victim. Everybody has something they can be a victim about.
Absolutely, and it's always their fault. The doctors make the patients feel like it's their fault. If they're overweight, it has nothing to do with the folks who are actually making the food or putting you on the medicine that's going to affect the rest of your body, your thyroid, your brain fog. You got all these vaccinations. You're in a real struggle as far as trust when it comes to the federal government food and drug administration.
Yeah, man, because they're all just snakes.
You've got a whole lot of 75% of them came from big pharma, and they got the biggest and the best lobbyists in the world. You're talking about tons and tons of money every year, and they've got you where they tell you what to eat. Do you know what they're doing with this 3D printed meat? I mean, are they going to prove that there's not enough cows in the world for folks to be eating 10 million burgers a day?
Probably not. So you're either eating something fake.
You're eating fake lab meat, and these whistleblowers are coming out from every one of these corporations, and they're showing how the food's made. They're showing how. I mean, your Oreo cookies, man. Your Doritos. I mean, stuff I've eaten all my life. And then they just came out with this Campbell soup, folks. They got in trouble with this 3D printed meat.
Oh, man, I love soup. Phil, I'm going to have to ask you to stop coughing.
Well, it's allegedly. It's all this stuff's allegedly, and Phee Smee Network is for entertainment and information purposes
Entertainment
only.
and information
So
purposes
we're not
only.
here disclosing any new news, but these folks, they're just they're gonna keep showing you what you've been eating for years and years and years, and you're not gonna like it.
Well, I mean, let's just take margarine, for example. Can't believe it's not butter.
Can't believe it's not butter.
It's poison.
How about the crock? Remember that crock butter?
Yeah, but you want to know, let's just talk about where it came from.
It's okay. Petroleum?
Well, yes, but let's talk about why it came about.
Or
No, I mean, no, that's vegetable oil, but to maintain kosher, you cannot have dairy with meat, right? I mean, you know that, right? Like, you can't have a steak and a glass of milk.
Right.
There's certain waiting times between having meat and dairy.
Kind of like if you're going to scuba dive, you can't fly in the same 24 hours?
Yeah, something like that. But, they have, like, according to kosher laws and dietary rules, which is different between each sect of Jews, right?
Right.
But one of those loopholes is we're going to invent something that's butter but not dairy, so that we can circumnavigate the laws of God to consume butter with our meat.
You don't think that they realize that God knows their heart? All this circumvention and all these different loopholes and all this stuff around. Do you not think that they don't know who they're dealing with? It's the creator of the world, the universe.
I don't think they do know.
I don't think they do.
Or they don't care. Like,
Or
or
they don't
it's
know
like
that God knows their heart.
It's like on Shabbos or on the Sabbath, you can't do all these certain things.
That's true.
Outside of your home. I mean, there's things you can't do inside your home as well, but it's like, so they tie a string around a whole block, and if you're within the string, you're within your home. So then you can carry the things on Saturday. So yeah, it's just like the whole system's based upon these rules that we've then circumvent with these small loopholes just to do the thing that we're not supposed to do, It's a joke. It's a
I
joke.
believe that if folks knew how strong the Sabbath was, that very few people ever keep the Sabbath.
Well, we don't. I mean, okay, if we want to get technical, Sunday's not the Sabbath.
That's correct.
Are you one of those Seventh-day Adventists, folks?
I am not. But I can tell you that that's the Jewish calendar is not the same as our calendar.
No,
I can tell you
they're
that.
living in the year like 6,872 or something.
You've got a real problem with that when it comes to prophecy teachers trying to deal with all of these different prophecies. They look at kingdoms 600 years ago and 1,200 years ago and 2,000 years ago and 4,000 years ago, and then they try to figure dates out, and they got from the Roman calendar to the Jewish calendar.
Yeah.
And then they changed the meanings from the Greek word and the Hebrew word to the English word. I mean, they got more excuses than they can shake a stick at. Bottom line is, the Word of God is truth.
Which word of God?
And I like them all. You just got to decipher which one. I like the Ethiopian 88. I like the dadgum King James that didn't like Enoch, by the way. He didn't think we could handle Enoch. Not a big fan of the Clarence Larkin reference Bible from this
Schofield,
yeah. And Schofield, not a fan of those folks. But anyway, I like to read them all and then see. But when it comes down to it, a third of the Bible is prophecy, and you're not going to mess with the prophecy, and you're not going to mess with the salvation. They might take away the giants, and they might not name but 3 angels when there's legions of them. But,
yeah, I just still really haven't came to a conclusive thought on all that stuff. Not the giants, but I just mean like if they can change any of the Word of God, it's convenient to say they can't change all of it. Mm-hmm. But
they try.
Well, I mean, they can try, but what I'm saying is it's like I'm going to believe they've changed it up until the point of something that's really important. And it's almost like we want to think that, well, God wouldn't allow them to change the important parts, but is every word not spoken in that important? So, I mean, I'm not saying that the Bible is then a lie. I'm just saying we cradle ourselves, put padding up to say, well, they've changed a few things, but they can't change the important parts. God wouldn't allow it.
God knew that you and I'd be sitting here today before the foundation of the world was set. So I'm not understanding what He can and can't. He knows everything, and so yes, I agree that they can change a word. They can try to interpret it differently. The denominations can make it sound like whatever they want to, but there is not but one truth.
Well, yeah, and
we've got to find that.
Yeah, and that is that Jesus Christ died for the sins of mankind.
I am
that
the
Jesus
way, the
Christ,
truth, and the life.
Yeah. So to me, the only thing that they can't is that truth. So everything else, I'm like, well, I don't really know if they've changed it or not. Because look how they've co-opted the prophecy movement in like, okay, just like dispensational truths. Hey, you're gonna get a fast pass out of all the turmoil. That's right. Well, they changed that.
They did. They changed a lot of things throughout the years.
And I'm not coming at you as like
the age of
just
grace.
Trying to disagree with you, but it's just like, I mean, in truth, it's like, well, I mean, they can't change the prophecy, they can't change the salvation, but it's like they already have. How many people think, well, the thing that imparts salvation upon you is dipping in the water? They changed that. Hey, you're going to get sucked out of here magically before anything bad happens, as long as you have faith. They changed that.
They make it easy on you in some denominations. They make it hard in other denominations. The bottom line is, God knows your heart.
Well, yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's less about what you believe, and it is your heart.
There you go.
I mean, I do believe that.
Yeah.
Because it's like okay, if you lived your whole life and you just had no opportunity to hear the real truth, by what metric can you be judged on? Your heart. Does that make sense?
It does.
And so, I mean, here I am assuming the mind of God in that, well, He'll take pity or give mercy to the folks who there was no opportunity for a 1392 Christian who had Catholicism and shoved down his throat. It's like, well, I mean, seems kind of unfair if that's just he grew up in some obscure Irish town and had zero access whatsoever to the real truth. Well, crap, was he just damned to hell by virtue of where he's born? You know what I mean? Or if it was his heart.
It's a sad truth, Mark, that people don't want to talk about, but God already knows that there's not going to be but just a number of people that are saved, that are His children.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be the majority.
No.
So you have to know what we're dealing with, and we're dealing with a sinful world that is fixing to get worse.
Yes.
Before my Lord comes back. And so, yes, the closer it gets, the more deception there's going to be.
Yeah.
And it's not going to get easier for folks.
But I just wonder how much deception is enough deception to lead you to hell. You know what I mean?
Yes, and life's not fair.
Unknowingly.
Life's not fair. There wouldn't be a need for wheelchairs. I mean, let's just go ahead and tell the truth. Somebody's liable to get an opportunity to be saved every day, and some people's liable to get that one opportunity to get saved in their life.
Yeah.
So you know, who knows except my Lord, right?
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's.
But it seems so important. You'd feel like you would.
You would think it's a priority, but it's not, because we live in a physical world where people can see, and we're dealing with things that are spiritual, that are unseen.
Yeah.
And so we deal with what we can see and what we do, and we where we spend our time and our priorities. And before you know it, we've inverted everything that we need to invert, and we've taken our time and our energy and our money and our resources, and we've lived and enjoyed our life, and then before it's over with, it's just like chasing the wind.
Yeah.
So life goes on until you die.
Yeah.
So and one generation is not going to die.
Yeah.
And this is it.
Well, is that your generation or my generation?
Well, definitely yours.
Well, I don't know.
Definitely
I hope.
yours.
I think.
I don't know if if you got 15 years, you got 15 years. But it's not going to be 45. You got too many people with nuclear weapons, and you got a United Nations that's got some
if they even exist.
Goals.
If they even exist.
You got. How about your directed energy weapons?
Now those exist.
They exist.
I'm a little back and forth on the nukes.
Are you?
Well, I mean, only in that it's like, hey, after they nuke somewhere, it's going to be radiated for a million billion years. You can go to Nagasaki, Hiroshima. Mm-hmm. People aren't just dying from being there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you hear these things like, they can vaporize you with a nuke at any second. Oh,
well,
live in this state of fear. Oh, but it's like everything that we know to be true about the nukes, it's like, well, what's going on with Nagasaki, Hiroshima? You know, I mean, like for real. So it's like,
that's 80 years ago, bro.
Yeah, but they rebuilt immediately after the war. It wasn't like they evacuated for 20 years and said, okay, it's time to come back.
Do you think that if you took some radiation over there, meter, and did this, that you still see it?
Couldn't tell you. All I'm saying is, which I don't have an opinion because I haven't looked too much into it because it's irrelevant to me, is that there is something fishy going on with what they tell us about nuclear weapons. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Well, they do exist, just like your directed weapon, energy weapons. So I can assure you that they do exist.
Well, I don't know, man. How is it that in the videos and from the 40s of these nuclear bombs going off, everything blows away except for the camera? Okay.
I like that.
I'm serious.
I mean, you're just an absolute.
I'm serious because it's like what we see, we believe, but then we don't think about the
camera.
The camera.
Right.
Or like, I mean, like who filmed the dang lunar landing blasting off from the moon? Oh, well, they had a radio-controlled camera that perfectly panned as it was taking off, even though they say there was a delay in the radio. So even though it's like, what? So they used wireless technology from Earth, 230,000 miles away to perfectly time the camera panning on the lunar module.
Very impressive.
I mean, but it's like, come on. Richard Nixon called from a landline. to the astronauts. A landline, and they weren't even on the Earth.
It's impressive.
But it's those types of questions that, of course, some nerd or some moonophile would say, this science, this jargon. Oh, okay, well, you're using words I don't understand and concepts that don't make sense to me, so I'm going to go ahead and believe you. Come on. Richard Nixon
Follow the money.
called from a landline.
Yeah, called from a landline.
To the moon.
Bounced off a couple of satellites.
To the moon.
To the moon and back.
Okay.
You think the moon's made of cheese?
No, but I don't know what it's made of, because some people claim, I'm sure you've heard it, that the moon rings like a bell. You know, like, you've heard that, haven't you?
Is it hollow?
I don't know. Some people say it's an artificial construct. I don't know. I mean, that gets a little too deep in the weeds, but...
Well, you do know that you do believe in the tides.
Yeah.
You have seen the tides.
I see the tides, and they tell me it's from the moon.
Right. I just was wondering if you...
But I've never lived in a reality where there's no moon for them to say pulls the tides.
It was a beautiful moon last night.
Couldn't tell you, didn't look at it.
Nice stars, beautiful night in Arkansas anyway.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I'm not trying to make the debate about the moon landing or the moon or like if it's actually an alien craft or this or that. You know, there's a whole million...
People don't care. That's the problem. You see,
No, they don't care.
They classify it, blue beam, they classify all this, and then they classify that, and then they declassify it. Nobody cares anymore. They don't care that the moon... if they landed on the moon and they walked on the moon, they didn't do it the way they showed you. Okay?
No.
All right. Now, I was at like the first grade or second grade, and I can remember them pulling us out in the hallway to watch the moon landing. I watched it on a black and white TV, okay, and I believed it.
Yeah,
now,
that's the point.
Now you look back on it, and I see the set, and I see the moon, the
Well, and you just see how fake it looks. You just see how like fake it looks. Like the lunar, I mean, even like the lunar module blasting off from the moon looks completely fake. Just like you see some sparks. I mean, imagine the little slide whistles. That's what I hear. It, but then somehow perfectly in 1969, they had calculated the orbit of the other one that was going around the moon orbit, and it just perfectly linked up to and then the guy who was left not to go on the moon, but in the little orbiter going around the moon said he had orders to, if it didn't work out, to leave those guys behind. And I mean, it's just like, oh, it's such a dramatic story. Oh, that everything lined up perfectly our first try. Oh, whoa, we beat the Soviets in the space race. Yes, America. Whoa, 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 yeah. Whoa, yeah, America. Come on now.
They sold it.
Yeah, but if I had been around there, I'd been like, man, I ain't buying it.
Do you really think that there was a large group of yous out there at that time that said it's just fake?
I couldn't tell you. I wasn't there.
But I thought maybe you might know some groups.
No, I hadn't really looked into it.
Anti-moon landing group.
Hadn't looked into it, but I mean, it's hard to imagine because to everyone who watched it, it looked real because they'd never seen anything that looked more real. If that makes sense.
It does. It does, but when you look back at it now,
you're like, hey, this is just crappy CGI.
Yes.
Crappy practical effects.
Well, what about the same thing with this AI now, where people can tell the difference whether it's AI or not, when in reality they're just setting them up because there's 5 or 6 generations.
No,
ahead of them
100%.
already.
100%.
Okay, so they're just setting them up as they go. Oh, that's AI. Oh, that's AI. Sooner or later, they're going to find out there's folks walking around amongst them that's not humans. They're humanoids.
Or reptilian.
Well, here we go again with the reptilians.
I'm serious. Like, there have been credible accounts of shape-shifting folks. Man, I mean, like, for real. Like,
I know.
I don't necessarily buy into it all the way, but
I hope not. But again,
I kind of do.
Every time that you try to explain something to me, I end up realizing that you might know what you're talking about.
Well, like, I buy into the reptilian shapeshifters. I buy into
shapeshifters.
I buy into that a whole lot more than I do into like the robot clones.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, oh, you're telling me there's some sort of demonic physical entity that's been amongst us that can shapeshift? That makes more sense in my idea of the cosmos than it does a malfunctioning robot that's Joe Biden. You know?
Yeah, but he moved like a robot.
Well, yeah.
So, again, if they're out there amongst us, I know that there's an actress.
There's something.
There's an actress out there that's nothing but a robot, and she's trying to get some parts in a movie.
Are you talking about the AI one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, AI. She's not even physical. She's just completely digital. Yeah, they already have AI influencers that no one has any idea are AI. Yeah. 100%. We might be AI influencers.
You might be. I'm not. I'm as real as a $3 bill.
Israel?
No, is real.
Israel.
You're a
You
big
heard
fan.
it. Israel.
You're a big
Israel.
fan.
Israel. He said Israel. It is real. Israel. Israel?
Quit talking trash.
I just love to talk that trash.
Well, let's get on back to the vaccinations that are in the world and Bill Gates, because Bill Gates is dangerous.
Well, yes.
He's now gone with a fake butter. He's already had his lab meat banned in 7 United States states. So, and I promise you, one bird flew away from controlling the food supply.
Well, yeah, or it's even kind of like how now they're saying don't give the Hep B shots to babies. Called that one.
How'd you like that? You called that 15 years ago, didn't you?
Well, I didn't. I'm not surprised. I tell folks often, you think I'm crazy, and then you don't listen to me, and then when someone with a higher authority comes out and says
the same thing you've
hey,
been
did you
saying.
see this about the Hep B vaccine? I didn't need to see it because I told you that's a bad thing.
Sooner or later, folks are going to realize that are on this planet that Manly Mark knows what he's talking about in almost every case.
There's probably 40 people that will ever see me on the planet.
Very humble.
I'm just saying, I'll never have any real reach.
You'll have a reach. You might be poking somebody's eyes out with it, but you'll have a reach. You got it. Very good. Do it again. Oh, you got it right
all
there.
you got to do is, you could pull that hair, punch me in that face, kick me in that groin, but my thumbs are going to find their way to your eye hole. I've got really good feelers.
Even if you can't see, you're going to find their eyeball.
Yeah, because I'm not thinking about any other thing, physical stimulus outside of my thumbs finding those eye holes, and they find those eye holes. Like I'm not big and I'm not tough. I'm actually a whole lot weaker right now than I have ever been my whole life. But unless you pin my arms and my legs, I'm either biting holes anywhere my face is touching, or my thumbs are going to find your eye holes.
One or the other. It's not going to be pleasant.
I have already shattered my own teeth biting holes.
You don't fight fair, do you?
There's no such thing as a fair fight. Okay. Those are like, all's fair in love and war. It's like there's no such thing. Those are artificial constructs, artificial rules to limit my ability to protect myself. There's no such thing as a fair fight. You step into the arena with me, and I'm not saying that in a tough guy way. It's, hey, one of us is making it out, or we're both making it out, but you're going to have a memory of
this
event for the foreseeable future. That's all it is. I'm not tough. I don't know how real fighting techniques, but I know how to find those eye holes. That's all.
And the patch is coming. Mr. Pirate's coming.
Well, yeah. You'd be surprised how far those thumbs can go into an eye socket.
I can only imagine that I don't want to find out.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a scary thing to be in. But
I think but my fighting days are about over.
Well, hopefully.
Now it's just, point and pull.
Yeah, well, that's just the society we live in.
Well, we've got a whole lot more of violence that's coming in our cyber
And I'll admit there
attacks and
used to
our
be like
terrorist
a sense of honor or some sort of code when it came to fights like that, but it's like that doesn't exist anymore. I don't know if it was a certain culture that has shifted that's made us that way.
Yeah.
Or hey, you're going to fight this one guy, but all his 16 buddies
I can't imagine the Revolutionary War where they just walked up to each other, knelt down, just tried to shoot each other. There wasn't really a lot of strategy there, was there?
Foolish, man.
Foolish.
Well, and imagine thinking, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to be an honorable guy.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I would have been a bushwhacker.
I think I would have tried to find me a rock to hide behind.
Well, like, you've heard about the bushwhackers in the Civil War and Revolutionary War, how they, it blew the British's mind that they'd hide in bushes, and then whenever the patrol's walking by, they'd ambush them. What do you mean? Well, you coming to take what's mine?
You talk about that for a while I go to the bathroom.
Oh, well. I'll try. We'll just do a quick commercial break. We'll do a quick commercial break. Enjoy this video from the Phee Smee Network.
Donald Trump might be the most Zionist president of the United States in history, but he might be the last one, because Israel is going to be permanently controversialized now. It's the most criminal regime in the world, and they are a dead letter, name is mud on the left, and more on the right all the time. It's something like 50-50 on the right now. People are sick and tired of being lied to and condescended to and used and abused in this way. I mean, for all the people listening to this or watching this, think Benjamin Netanyahu respects you? And this is a guy who has said on multiple occasions, in fact, on September 11th, he told the New York Times,
good for Israel.
This is very good.
Man, I'd like to get one call a year about the trade deficit with China. I mean, just one a year, maybe. You know what I mean? Maybe one a month about Ukraine, or how the UK is trying to censor over here in the US and all that. I mean, this is big stuff too. All I'm saying is there's other things. Because every time I post something on X or anything about China, it's like, why are you covering up for the Jews? It's retarded. I'm covering everything, sweetheart. Not calling you sweetheart, I'm just saying in general. Because there is an awakening, but so much of it is only on Israel. And that's good to have the awakening, but man, folks have become one-trick ponies. Well, not me. You're going to get it all. And if I forget to say something, you can call in.
Counterterrorism Center supported through actionable intelligence to both U.S. law enforcement as well as Mexican law enforcement the arrest of a Sinaloa cartel boss, El Plato, in Juarez, Mexico, as well as his top 3 money launderers. In a separate and recent successful interagency operation, NCTC worked closely with the U.S. Marshals Service that led to the arrest of another dangerous Sinaloa cartel member responsible for tracking a huge amounts of cocaine and hundreds of thousands of dollars in this single incident with drug proceeds through his network. And I'll say the last example I'll share is probably the most insidious, was providing intelligence to the Mexican law enforcement that led to the arrest of a CJNG cartel-affiliated baby trafficker called La Diabla. Her whole money-making operation was centered around luring pregnant women, performing illegal C-sections, harvesting organs, and selling newborn babies. Mr. President, it's your leadership that has made all of this possible.
Organs harvested from patients that are still moving. I heard that from a congressional hearing last week. What can you tell us?
Yeah, I mean, it's a horror story, and part of it is because of the capture of the agency that was regulating ORR. The board that was actually regulating organ harvesting was overlapping with the contractor that was actually harvesting the organs. And it was done state by state. Some of the states were just truly, it was a nightmare. And it was sickening to read these stories. I had one instance where a family was waiting at the hospital for the body of their deceased relative. The relative was brought to one of these private organ harvesting centers, awoke while they were harvesting her organs, and then was brought back to the hospital where she died eventually. But the family, brought litigation, and that's the only reason that we learned of this story. We've done a complete investigation of that company. We've taken the contract away from that company, and we're reorganizing it so that we will be regulating it and running it directly at HHS, and this will never happen again.
That's RFK talking about some dadgum organs.
Yeah, we're back from our commercial break. Hope you guys enjoyed the little brief commercial break.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to do business with you, Captain of the ship, nickel and diamond, two-line rhymer.
Well, I wish we had some new, interesting videos to show.
How about some new, interesting videos like an underwater drone attack on a submarine from Ukraine to Russia? I mean, Ukraine's got some drones. You got some underwater drones attacking Russian subs. Russia denies it. Ukraine says it happened.
Well, I hate to say I trust Russia more than I do Ukraine.
Underwater drones. You got them flying, you got them underwater.
Well, because at this point, Ukraine, it's already a lost war. It's already lost. They're just not conceding because he's...
What happens if NATO steps up and starts attacking
You're going to see some bad things happening in Europe.
You're going to say escalation continues.
Oh, 100%.
And I've told you that the sixth trumpet war, World War III, will start out of Iraq, Iran, Syria, and Turkey. So when the Syrian ISIS actually killed some service members of the United States this past weekend, I thought to myself, uh-oh.
Well, but in a part, what are U.S. servicemen doing in Syria to begin with?
Good question there.
No one asked that.
Manly, I think you probably could ask that in every country.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like they shouldn't have been in that situation. Oh, they're just monitoring. They're just getting data. They're just no. We shouldn't be over there in the first place. Now, I mean, rest in peace, the folks who got killed. That's a terrible and sad thing, but we shouldn't be over there to begin with.
That's probably what the parents are thinking when they lay their heads down that pillow at night. They're saying all the right things.
Because their children were sacrificed in a Zionist-controlled, dominated operation. We're not over there for us. We're not over there on our behalf or for our benefit. Donald Trump even said what we did in Iran recently was for Israel. Why? Those were our tax dollars benefiting the efforts and interests of another nation, one who hates us.
Well, that's debatable whether or not they hate us.
That's not debatable.
They certainly use us. I'll say that they certainly use us.
You just read their religious literature. They hate us.
I certainly,
and part of them hating us is using us.
I totally agree that you've got a large portion of several different sects over there that are not good people, and they're not any better than the Islamic jihads.
No,
I mean you've got the synagogue of Satan.
They operate through different means.
It's deception everywhere, and I mean my Lord talks about them. All throughout the history of the Bible. They'd never done right. So
no, and they're still not.
And they're not going to do right until he puts his foot down, and then they'll do right then. Yeah. A remnant of them will.
A remnant will.
And a remnant of the Gentiles will too. I mean, we're going to just think of all of the children of God from the beginning of time to when my Lord comes back at the Battle of Armageddon. How many people there are. That have died throughout those many thousands of years.
I could probably do a calculation.
Yeah, I think you could probably see where when John says, "Who are these?" and he says, "My Lord knows who they are." Multitudes of every race, every nation, every tongue. I mean, and the dead will rise first.
Yeah.
So there's a whole lot of them out there, but they ain't all alive right now.
I will say what's interesting is it talked about when Christ was crucified that some of the dead rose then. Do you not remember that?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's factual.
I know. There's no record of that happening.
Yes.
So that's interesting.
It is. It is. It's also interesting that they, they talk about they can't find Moses' grave.
Well, that's because God buried him himself.
So that's they've got the mysteries of the seven thunders. I mean, there's all kinds of crazy. We need to just bring that Bible to life, man. Just bring it to life. It is phenomenal.
What are you talking about? It was already brought to life in the person of Jesus.
Yes, but people tend to forget.
The living Word. The Word in the beginning I'm going to butcher this quote. In the beginning, there was the God and Word, and the Word was God. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what? Whoa. That's crazy.
Yep. Well, Jesus was right there from the foundation of the world.
But was he right there as he is now, or was he right there in a different sense?
Well, I think he was there in a different sense. I think he's now sitting on his throne in his glorified body.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's in his glorified body. But was he in his glorified body before he came as Jesus the man?
In my opinion, I don't think so. I think he was a spirit.
I don't
like
know.
God, and then God made him in his image, like he did man, and he came as the King of the Jews.
Well, see, I don't even know, because the angel of the Lord was probably Jesus, a pre-incarnate Jesus. You know, because there's a difference between messenger angels and when it specified the angel of the Lord, the angel who is the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Like, I say that in the sense of, well, like there's is it Gideon, where it's like he brings us some, the angel of the Lord comes to him and he refers to him as Yahweh, brings him some food, right? But at the same time, a voice from heaven that's also referred to as Yahweh speaks from heaven, and it's like, what's going on there?
There's a whole lot going on.
Or like in Jude, I think it's Jude, the book of Jude says, don't you know it was Jesus who led you out of Israel or Egypt? So it's like what we read about being, God leading the people out of Egypt. Jude says that was Jesus. Okay. Weird.
One of the things that there's 3 books in the New Testament that don't end in amen at the end of a period, and Jude is one of them.
Well, some folks might say that was fake then, or something. I mean, I don't know.
And 1 John, and again Acts.
Some people actually speculate that there were 3 different Johns. Well,
there's definitely more than one.
3 different Johns that wrote these different epistles and Revelation. I'm not one of those ones who buy into that.
I do not agree.
I have heard there is a credible, I don't want to say evidence, because who knows, but there is some thought in scholarship that they take the position of there were more than one John. I don't know.
There's certainly more than one John. I don't think there was but one that got that revelation.
Well, yeah, there's only one John that got the revelation, but if that was the same John that wrote the 1 John, 2 John, was there a 3rd John? I don't know. Well, who knows?
1st and 2nd and 3rd John, Jude and Revelation.
Is Jude before Revelation?
Yeah, Revelation is his last.
Yeah, but I mean, so Jude is the book before Revelations?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yep. You didn't know that?
You know me, I don't know nothing.
Oh, well, you never know anything, do you?
Nope, not until I need to know it.
You've got 1st and 2nd Peter, 1st and 2nd and 3rd John.
Okay.
So there's your 3rd John. Jude and Revelation.
Couldn't tell me. The order to me doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't mean anything to you either. It's a collection of books, which is surprising to me that people they call it the canon.
Mm-hmm.
So being from England or from Europe and having our King James, which, didn't write the King James, he just commissioned the King James after 3 years of 42 clergymen, plus the Archbishop of Canterbury was the committee chair there.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't feel like that my boy Enoch belonged in there.
It's probably because they were in opposition with the Catholics.
That's correct.
But I will say it's interesting to note that all of the Apocrypha, the extra books that the Catholics have that we don't, are all Old Testament. They're not even New Testament books. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even like here's a different account of Jesus. It's just like 1st and 2nd Maccabees. That's Old Testament. Enoch, Old Testament. They're just kind of interesting to me because it's like, hey, it's just informing more of the worldview of these ancient people as opposed to saying the Book of Thomas that makes it seem like the Gnostics are right, or it's the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. It's like it's nothing contradictory to Jesus. It's all extra history of the Jewish people. That's what's interesting to me.
I mean, throughout history with the Romans, and that's how you got the Catholicism at 300 A.D. And you know, they've killed millions of Christians. The Jews have killed millions of Christians. The Christians have killed millions of. I mean, it just nobody's
I will
innocent.
say this. I will say this. The Jews have killed way more Christians than the Christians have ever killed Jews.
I think you're going to find the Muslims or the Islamic folks are going to kill more than any of them.
Oh, well, yeah, we'll see. Lapdog of the Zionists, but
they are. They've got a mission.
Yeah, they think it's from Allah, but it's really from their Jewish financiers and overlords. They just don't know it.
The Muhammad, their last prophet. You know, he has the continued discernment. You know, because he came after Jesus.
Well, yeah, but
so I mean, they all praying to Allah, but bottom line is they're praying to Satan.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the New Testament says even Satan or Lucifer can appear as an angel of light, and then it was an angel of light who appeared to Muhammad, saying he was Gabriel, and Muhammad himself was trying to kill himself because he thought he was demon possessed, had gone crazy, and then Gabriel shows up and beats the piss out of him, and says, no, this is what you're going to do now. And it's like, whenever in the Old Testament or New Testament did an angel show up and beat the fire out of somebody? I don't know. Kind of weird.
I'm telling you, the angels are bad. I mean,
and there are no miracles attributed to Muhammad. No, the only miracle that is attributed to Muhammad is the writing of the Quran.
Well,
which is interesting because then you had, right after Muhammad, you had, you know, I'm going to butcher this because I don't know the exact details, but I just know it's like you had his nephew and then you had his cousin over here who said, no, this is the right Quran. No, this is the right Quran. Well, this group actually killed the other group and said, well, the real Quran can only be recited orally, but we wrote it down anyways. But then another group who said, we're Muhammad's real folks, killed those folks and said, no, this is the right Quran. You know, so it's just like, okay. And if you actually read it, it's illiterate. It's illiterate.
I'm reading a lot of it now, and
it's illiterate,
and it's scary.
It's illiterate.
It's scary. And I feel bad for those good practicing Muslims that have no idea what they're doing.
Or it's like the Kaaba stone, that thing, that black cube.
The black cube's big.
Well, but the black cube is a symbol of Saturn because there's a hexagonal storm on one of the poles of Saturn, and a cross section of a hexagon is a cube. Saturn is the seventh planet, right? They march 7 times around the Kaaba stone in Mecca. Mm-hmm. It's a cult of Saturn, man. Now, I could get really deep in that, but I'm not going to.
How many times they walk around that Jericho wall?
7. Some people even say Judaism is a
There's a whole
Saturn
lot of dadgum similarities throughout history. And now you got the prosperity gospel. Then you got the sensational.
Fee's the biggest prosperity gospel worshiper there is.
Then you go, oh no, I'm
just teasing.
Again,
I'm just teasing.
I think people label other folks, no matter what it is, if it's Pentecostal or they're Baptist or they're Methodist or they're Episcopalian or they're Presbyterian. Most of them have no idea why.
Mommy and daddy were
parents,
or my got married and to placate my wife's family, I had to convert. I don't really believe it.
That's correct.
Oh, my daddy would be turning over in his grave if he heard you saying that. Yeah, I'm sure he would.
Yeah, I mean, it's just throughout time. Just like we were talking about the Revolutionary War, folks just sitting down and shooting each other right across from each other. And then in the Civil War, you had brothers killing brothers, cousins killing cousins. And now you're talking about the King of England.
I even have ancestors that were, one brother was conscripted on one side and another brother was conscripted on the other side.
Doesn't get any better than the appointee for the Federal Reserve of the United States and the appointee for the Federal Reserve of Germany being brothers during the World War II. Mm. That ought to tell you what your monetary and system's all about, especially with this digital currency and this World Bank, where they're fixing to take your money and then give your own money back to you as a basic income. That's what you call reality in the future.
Well,
Manley, I can just tell you this. It's always a pleasure to see you. We're going to continue to rock and roll nickel and dime throughout December. It's the holiday season. I know you are looking for good things. Have you been on the naughty or the nice list this year?
as of late, I have been on the naughty list.
Been on the naughty list.
Yeah, I'm naughty.
Well, you've got 3 kids. Are they going to be on the nice list?
2 of them will. 1 of them is not.
All right. Well, I have 4 children, and they all will be on the nice list. Their daddy, of course, always on the naughty list. Folks, have a happy holiday season. Merry Christmas.
Hopefully when January starts, or shortly after that, we'll be back full time.
Yeah.
Full time.
Full time.
We're ready full time.
Phase 2 kicking in.
It better kick in.
And Manly Mark here on a daily basis taking care of Phee, because Phee just can't do it without him. Thank you for tuning in to the Phee Smee Show with Manly Mark. We appreciate you guys. Tune in tonight to Night with Phee, and for all of other programming on the Phee Smee Network. Until later, remember, no matter what you're doing, you're missing something. So let's make what we're doing worth what we're missing.
Amen. Period.
Turn it up. The truth is clear. The time has come. The end is near. Through the storm, the light will shine. A vision divine. It's yours.